Why are so many medical device companies struggling with Europe? Let's start with a reality that many medical device manufacturers are experiencing today. A company successfully sells its device in its home market. The product performs well. Customers are satisfied. The management team decides, now it's time to enter Europe. Everyone gets excited. Europe is one of the world's largest medical device markets, more than 450 million potential consumers, advanced healthcare systems, strong purchasing power, global credibility. But then the challenges begin. The company starts researching EU MDR requirements. Suddenly, they discover CE marking is no longer as simple as before. Technical documentation requirements are extensive. Clinical evaluation expectations have increased. Notified body capacity is limited. Approval timelines are longer than expected. Costs are significantly higher than originally planned. Many manufacturers lose months and sometimes years because they underestimate the complexity of EU MDR compliance. Some receive major non-conformities. Some face notified body rejections. Some spend thousands of euros fixing documentation errors that could have been avoided from the beginning. So today's question is, how do you successfully register a medical device in Europe under EU MDR? In this complete guide, we will cover step-by-step registration process, device classification, CE marking requirements, EU authorized representative requirements, technical documentation requirements, clinical evaluation requirements, timeline expectations, cost breakdown, very important, required documents, common mistakes, real-world examples, how to reduce approval delays, best market entry strategy. Let's begin. Part 1. Understanding the European regulatory system. The first mistake manufacturers make is assuming Europe is one single approval process. It isn't. Medical devices in Europe are regulated under European Union Medical Device Regulation EU MDR 2017-475. The MDR replaced the old Medical Device Directive. The MDR introduced stronger clinical requirements, increased post-market surveillance, better traceability, enhanced patient safety, more rigorous documentation requirements. Today, every manufacturer entering Europe must demonstrate safety, performance, clinical benefit, risk management, quality management compliance. Part 2. Step 1. Determine device classification. Everything starts with classification. If classification is wrong, everything after that becomes wrong. EU MDR device classes. Class I, low-risk devices. Examples: non-sterile surgical instruments, examination gloves, hospital beds. Class 2A, medium-risk devices. Examples: diagnostic ultrasound systems, infusion pumps, hearing aids. Class 2B, higher-risk devices. Examples: ventilators, anesthesia systems, long-term monitoring devices. Class 3, highest-risk devices. Examples: heart valves, implantable devices, coronary stents. Common mistake. Manufacturers classify based on product type rather than MDR classification rules. Example: a software manufacturer assumes Class I. After assessment, device becomes Class 2A. Result: major project delays. Part 3, Step 2, implement ISO 13485 Quality Management System. Before CE marking, manufacturers need a robust quality management system. Most companies implement ISO 13485. This demonstrates controlled processes, product consistency, regulatory compliance, risk management, required QMS areas, design control, CAPA, complaint handling, supplier management, change control, document control, training management. Timeline: 3 to 12 months, depending on company maturity. Cost: internal implementation, $5,000 to $100,000 plus. External consulting, $3,000 to $30,000 plus. Certification audits, $5,000 to $25,000 plus. Part 4, Step 3, appoint an EU authorized representative. If you're located outside the EU, you need an EU authorized representative. This is mandatory. Responsibilities of an EU AR: regulatory communication, technical documentation access, competent authority interaction, vigilance support, compliance oversight. Common mistake: choosing an EU AR solely based on cost. A low-cost representative may create communication delays later. Timeline: 1 to 2 weeks. Cost: approximately $1,000 to $10,000 plus annually, depending on device class, product portfolio, scope of services. Part 5, Step 4, prepare technical documentation. This is where most manufacturers struggle. Your technical file must prove safety, performance, regulatory compliance, required documents, device description, intended use, product specifications, variants, risk management file, based on ISO 14971, includes hazard identification, risk evaluation, risk controls. Clinical Evaluation Report, CER, one of the most critical documents, must demonstrate clinical safety, clinical performance, benefit-risk justification. Labeling, device labels, packaging labels, instructions for use. Verification and validation, biocompatibility, electrical safety, software validation, sterility validation, post-market surveillance plan, required under MDR. Timeline: 2 to 8 months. Cost: $10,000 to $100,000 plus, depending on device complexity. Part 6, Step 5, clinical evaluation requirements. Many manufacturers underestimate this requirement. Clinical evaluation is no longer optional. Clinical evidence sources, clinical investigations, published literature, equivalent devices, post-market data. Common mistake: using outdated clinical evidence. Example: a manufacturer relies on studies published 10 years ago. Notified body requests updated justification. Approval delayed. Part 7, Step 6, Notified body review. Class IA, IB, and 3 devices require notified body involvement. Review activities: technical documentation review, QMS audit, clinical evaluation review, compliance assessment. Common challenges: capacity shortages, documentation deficiencies, additional questions, non-conformities. Timeline: 6 to 18 months, sometimes longer. Cost: $10,000 to $100,000 plus, depending on device complexity, product complexity. Notified body. Part 8. Step 7. CE marking and market access. After successful assessment, manufacturer receives CE certification. Now you can affix CE mark, market throughout the EU, expand into many international markets. Part 9. Complete timeline breakdown. Fastest scenario: Class 1 device, 3 to 6 months. Average scenario: Class 2A/2B, 9 to 18 months. Complex devices: Class 3, 12 to 36 months. Part 10. Cost breakdown. What does European registration really cost? This is one of the most searched questions. Classification and strategy: 1,000 to 5,000 plus. ISO 13485, 5,000 to 50,000 plus. EU authorized representative, 1,000 to 10,000 plus annually. Technical documentation, 10,000 to 100,000 plus. Clinical evaluation, 5,000 to 100,000 plus. Notified body, 10,000 to 100,000 plus. Total investment can range from 20,000 to 300,000 plus, depending on risk class and complexity. Part 11. Top 10 mistakes that delay EU MDR approval. Mistake 1. Wrong classification. Mistake 2. Incomplete technical file. Mistake 3. Weak clinical evaluation report. Mistake 4. Poor risk management file. Mistake 5. Outdated ISO 13485 system. Mistake 6. Inconsistent labeling. Mistake 7. Insufficient software validation. Mistake 8. Ignoring post-market surveillance requirements. Mistake 9. Choosing the wrong notified body. Mistake 10. Waiting too late to begin MDR preparation. Final takeaway: Europe remains one of the most attractive medical device markets in the world. But success under EU MDR requires proper classification, strong quality systems, comprehensive documentation, clinical evidence, strategic planning. The companies that succeed are not necessarily the biggest. They're the best prepared. Planning to register your medical device in Europe? Need help with EU MDR strategy, CE marking, device classification, EU authorized representative services, technical documentation, clinical evaluation reports, ISO 13485 compliance, notified body preparation, post-market surveillance. OMC Medical can help. Our regulatory experts support manufacturers through the entire European registration journey, from planning to CE certification and beyond. Talk to an OMC Medical expert today. Request a regulatory assessment. Enter Europe faster, reduce compliance risk, and achieve CE marking with confidence. See you in the next OMC Medical Regulatory Guide.